Things are very much heating up here in the crypto market. Bitcoin is up 3% this week. Ethereum is up 16% this week. And XRP is up 36% this week. Ethereum has been running. We haven't seen 3,500 since January of this year. And XRP has exploded up to 3.5, now hitting the highest levels of the cycle thus far. And while all this is happening, Bitcoin is generally flat as the altcoins begin to run. This is a classic signal for alt season. And Bitcoin dominance breaking below its uptrend line is confirming that. So today we will be discussing Bitcoin, Ethereum, the altcoins, and more, all of this in today's video. Since the beginning of 2023, Bitcoin has been on a major parabolic trend, exactly what we've been discussing for the past couple of years. Absolutely epic trend. Meanwhile, Ethereum has been sideways since 2021. Others, altcoins, sideways since 2021. Are the altcoins going to escape their sideways purgatory? Will Ethereum soon break back above 4K and send us to new highs? Well, that seems to be a strong possibility considering that Bitcoin dominance is finally seeing a breakdown below its uptrend line. Bitcoin recently in the short term swept below the lows, washing out the late longs, which is always healthy. And now we're seeing a recovery bounce. Most likely, this is going to send us up to new highs. And the reason why I'm saying that is not just because the trend is your friend, it's the fundamentals. We see that just a couple hours ago, the House has officially passed the Genius Act, a historic moment for the crypto industry as Genius establishes the first clear regulatory framework for fiat-backed stablecoins, which is likely going to incite more investment from Wall Street as regulation and true clarity is now hitting the industry. And that news is what incited this 4-hour candle. This break above the range high took place on that news. It just makes it that much more likely that we're going to see continuation to the upside. I'm going to be releasing trading bots soon, and I have these bots running on low cap meme coins, and you can see the 90-day performance is 7,700%. One of the requirements to get access to my trading bots will be to first sign up with the BloFin link below, my link, and then I'm going to be releasing a tutorial soon, probably within the next month, to show you guys how to use BloFin for trading bots and much, much more. So definitely click that link below, sign up today. Bitcoin's daily MACD showing a slight slowdown in momentum over the past few days. Obviously, we've been going sideways. Bitcoin's daily RSI is attempting to bounce off of the overbought zone, which in my book, when you break out and you enter overbought, that is oftentimes can be a very bullish signal. Contrary to what most people would assume, they think that overbought is always bad. October 2023, Bitcoin sitting at 32,000. We hit the resistance of this range. We enter the overbought zone on the breakout, and that was a major bullish signal, and we got huge continuation. And then you go to the next zone. After the ETF was approved, Bitcoin breaks out right here into the overbought zone, and that is a signal for major momentum. Go over to the next major breakout zone in 2024, November. Bitcoin breaks out of this resistance high. On the breakout, we enter the overbought zone, and that sends us all the way to 109,000. Now, Bitcoin in April of this year, after the tariff scare, we came down. Bitcoin's price broke the resistance after hitting the overbought zone. Major momentum all the way up to a new all-time high. Bitcoin right now breaking above this resistance into the overbought zone. It usually signals major momentum. So that's how I see Bitcoin right now. And of course, a lot of you guys know that I'm aiming for something around 142,000 for this run. You know, that's a multi-month target. I'm not saying that's going to happen necessarily in a month. I think that'll happen anywhere from, a couple months to around October of this year. Now, I know a lot of people will say it's not bullish enough, that price target's too low, but we'll see. We'll see how fast we get there. You got to remember that Bitcoin spends quite a lot of time going sideways, right? I mean, we pump and then we go sideways for a long time. We pump sideways a long time, pumped sideways. So, we keep pumping sideways. October's sitting right here on the chart. How sideways are we going to go from here till October, which for those of you that may not know, the halving cycle profit model, a model that I created, which is on TradingView, the Bitcoin halving cycle profit, shows that 80 weeks after the halving is the usual start of the bear market, which in this cycle is going to be landing us around end of October. And if you overlay the textbook parabolic trend diagram over the weekly chart, it lines up with something like October of this year. So take that how you will. Since April, Bitcoin has gone up about 65%. And since April, Ethereum has gone up about 154%. Now, of course, Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum for the cycle, right? Ethereum's still below 2021 levels, Bitcoin ripping into new all-time highs, but Ethereum is outperforming it since April. And also, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin in the past few days. As Bitcoin has gone sideways, Ethereum was able to escape that sideways action and get a lot of momentum. And the same thing goes with XRP over the past week, has seen tremendous pump all the way up to new highs for the cycle thus far. And if you go back far enough in time, you'll see that XRP is now escaping the 2017 highest wick high, possibly in a blue sky breakout. The point being here that Bitcoin dominance is now starting to plunge. This is one of the largest weekly drops we've seen in Bitcoin dominance since the beginning of the cycle. We had, one in this zone, but this one seems to be pretty convincing to me. Bitcoin dominance is on a downtrend since 2016, 2017. Well, you could say it's also in a consolidation, but every cycle it makes another lower high. In the last cycle in 2021, right, this is back, post-COVID drop. This is Bitcoin on the top. This is Bitcoin dominance on the bottom. Bitcoin runs up, breaks 20,000, 42,000, has a big 30% correction, and then has a second all-time high break to the new high. Marking up with the red line here, the 20,000 all-time high break, the 42,000 all-time high break. That second one, the second all-time high break, that's where dominance began to plunge. And if we go over to where we are now for this cycle, Bitcoin dominance has been trending up with Bitcoin, and we've seen one major all-time high break, and now this is the second major all-time high break. And on this second all-time high break, we're starting to see dominance come down. This is very much just like the last cycle, obviously because the percentage gains reduce the higher the Bitcoin goes, the less potential gain it has for the cycle. And that is what we're seeing right now, is that people are probably realizing that there's a lot more opportunity in the altcoins. And, some people don't like to hear me talk about this, some Bitcoin maximalists, but just like I was showing you before, Ethereum is up 154% from the April lows, whereas Bitcoin is up 65%. The opportunity is flowing to the altcoins for that reason. The returns are just much better after Bitcoin has made such an impressive move, achieved so much this cycle, right? Not diminishing what Bitcoin has done. I mean, altcoins have been really terrible this cycle, but I do see the signs of alt season, Bitcoin slowing down in the short term. In the short term, Ethereum ripping up. In the short term, XRP exponentially rising to new all-time highs. So it seems pretty clear what's happening, and that is alt season pretty much confirmed, I think. We're at least really, really close to a full confirmation. This is the others. This is the low cap altcoin chart, which is still in a sideways market, but we're starting to break above this downward sloping resistance. We had a weekly close above our downtrend, and it looks like we're running up towards 550 billion as the first upward sloping resistance target for others, the low cap altcoin index. And that's another 70, maybe 80% from here to the first target. It's possible that this goes to 1 trillion by the end of the cycle, but the first target is 550 billion. The first potential profit zone is 550 billion. And so if you're wondering where or when to sell your altcoins, you could be using these two targets, right? Wherever your altcoin, your preferred altcoin, your favorite altcoin, whatever the price of that coin is, when others reaches 550 billion is probably going to be a major target. Wherever your favorite altcoin is, by the time we reach 1 trillion, is probably a really good time to sell, right? Especially considering the halving cycle profit model, which also works for altcoins. You can see in all these previous cycles, this is the others low cap altcoin index in 2016 up to 2017 top. 80 weeks was the bear market, the start of the bear market. Go to 2021, 2020 halving, 2021, 80 weeks was the start of the bear market. You go to this current cycle, well, October of this year, 80 weeks would be probably the start of the bear market. So wherever the prices are at the 80th week, whether your target has been reached or not, too bad, you got to sell. That's at least how I see this based off of the time targets for these cycles. Time is more important than price. Prices you can get wrong. Time is usually much more accurate. If you guys enjoyed this content, be sure to smash the like and subscribe to this channel. Also, sign up for BloFin. Click that link below, sign up today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.